Okay.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting agenda on Monday, August 21st, 2017. Just to remind you, there was a special meeting tonight immediately following the regular meeting. So we're calling to order as Monday, August 21st, 2017. Would you please join Vice Mayor Campbell in the Pledge of Allegiance and stay standing for the invocation?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many blessings that our local community has. I pray for those who govern this community that they make wise decisions which are always in the best interest of our city and its residents. I pray for those who are in law enforcement, those who are firefighters, and all of their families. Please protect them in their line of duty so that they might protect those of us who have placed our trust in them. We also pray, Lord, for special blessings for our sister city of Avondale as they mourn the passing of Vice Mayor Sandy Nelson. We ask these things in thy most holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Councilman Campbell. We're all here, so we're going to go right to the communications, and this is always a joyful time for us. So we'll start out with 4.1. We have 3 communication items, but the first is going to be the Cleveland Indians, and the Cincinnati Reds will present their charitable donations from the 2017 spring training season to their designated nonprofit organizations. I have Ballpark General Manager Bruce Kessman will present. Bruce?
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. I'm here tonight. I'm joined with Mike Savarino of the Cincinnati Reds and also Ryan Lance of the Cleveland Indians. But we're not here to talk about baseball. I'm here to talk about the generous contributions and support that both of these teams have for our local community. Prior to each season, the Indians and the Reds partnered together to host the annual celebrity charity golf outing. This event's hosted up at the Golf Club of Estrella, and it benefits the Hope team. Also, during each season, the Indians and Reds, we select one game and designate that as the charity game. During the playing process, we select 2 charities, and they are awarded as the beneficiaries of the game, usually in November of each year. This year, the Homeless Youth Connection and the New Life Center were selected as the beneficiaries. They help promote the game, and they're also recognized during the game as the beneficiaries of the game. And then the final program is the Roundup for Charity program, which is hosted in the team shop through the Indians. And how that program works is that each year, or each transaction, customers have the opportunity to round up to the nearest whole dollar. Those funds are then tallied up, and this year the Southwest YMCA will be the beneficiary of those funds. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Ryan Lance and Mike Savarino, who will actually do the contributions.
Mayor Lord, City Council members, thank you for the opportunity to be here with you this evening. On behalf of the Cincinnati Reds organization, I'd like to pay tribute to the wonderful nonprofit organizations that the Reds and Indians associate with for our annual spring training charity game. These organizations all do tremendous work in the Goodyear area and the surrounding communities. It is my pleasure and privilege to specifically introduce the New Life Center. New Life Center provides a safe haven for victims of domestic violence and empowers them to live independent, violence-free lives. Here tonight representing the New Life Center is their Director of Community Development, Liz Zalazzo.
Would somebody help you with the microphone?
Bring it down.
Take it down.
Yeah.
Put it down.
I tried.
Pick it up.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, council members. I'll keep it very brief. New Life Center has been around for more than 25 years, and I have a feeling that most people in this room are familiar with the organization. I joined the organization the end of February, so I've been there about 6 months, and I have very quickly come to learn how much this community has embraced New Life Center, has embraced the mission, embraced our work with victims of domestic violence. I hope everyone can come out sometime and have a tour of the beautiful facility. It's a very special place. Unlike a lot of shelters, it's a campus with casitas, and it's warm and it's inviting, and that's very important when you're serving families that have been traumatized. One of our largest funders, Department of Economic Security, posted some statistics last year, and New Life Center actually served more children than any other domestic violence shelter in the state of Arizona. And that makes sense because we serve a lot of moms, and we serve larger families because of that casita-style campus. I just really want to thank the Cincinnati Reds. I want to thank Mike, his organization, for being such a great neighbor, such an important part of this community, and the fact that your organization is giving back to the nonprofits doing the hard work in this community makes your gift and your generosity so much more meaningful. So thank you very much, and thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Mayor and Council, thank you very much for allowing us just a few minutes of your time this evening to spotlight some of our charities as well and present them with what we hope to be some impactful funding towards their causes. As you know by now, we are coming off of another record-breaking spring training season, shattering both our overall attendance and revenue numbers. This past spring, we also celebrated our 2016 American League Championship season and set a new Goodyear Ballpark attendance record, welcoming 11,624 fans through our gates against the Cubs late in March. While all that is extremely gratifying, it's also rewarding, as through some of these same resources, we were able to successfully contribute to several local charitable causes off the field too. It's important to celebrate and recognize these significant milestones that I just mentioned, and while I'm proud to do that, I'm even prouder of the time our players and staff invest in this community year-round off the field here locally. Throughout our time here, both the Indians and the Reds have stepped up to the plate in a variety of ways in giving back to the Goodyear community. Our goal continues to be, as it always has been, to partner with those locally based organizations that share our mission and core values of positively impacting the Goodyear community. And I'm happy to report that we've done that since 2009 to the tune of a little over $653,000. Specifically worth noting is the record amount this year of $124,000 that we've been able to donate so far in 2017. Not only are both teams financially vested in the Goodyear community, but our players have also shown a high level of commitment that is second to none throughout the numerous year-round community outreach appearances at many of our local schools, hospitals, food banks, and of course the Tri-City Boys and Girls Club. Tonight, though, we wanted to recognize just a few of these well-deserving, locally based nonprofit charities that both the Indians and the Reds have partnered with this past spring. The money that has been raised will ultimately go to support their mission and the people that they serve, not only in Goodyear, but in most cases throughout the West Valley and even out of state in some instances. At this time, I would like to bring up to the front a few of those folks to present the checks to, as well as say a few words. Don Bogart, who is the Executive Director of the Homeless Youth Connection. Larry Atkinson, who's the Hope Team Manager at Cancer Treatment Centers of America, as well as Devin Kassem, who's our Regional Youth Program Director from the Southwest Valley YMCA. Don?
Mayor and City Council members, we have been blessed to be partners with you, the Cleveland Indians, and the Cincinnati Reds for a number of years. You started with us, and you helped turn an idea into a lot of impact to help homeless youth, not only here in Goodyear, but throughout Maricopa County. This is awkward. We have also been very blessed to have Ryan Lance as one of our board of directors over the years, and he has given us a lot of input and direction, and we are very honored to have him as part of our team. On behalf of Homeless Youth Connection, our board, our staff, and especially our children, we sincerely appreciate the support we have received from not only the city of Goodyear, but the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Indians. Your partnership over the years has provided the support HYC has needed to have the impact on youth experiencing homelessness. You've allowed us to provide the basic resources, the case management, and most recently, the housing that is desperately needed for these young youth so they can stay in school and complete their education. Thanks to your partnership over the years, more than 1,200 homeless youth have received the support that they needed. This past year, because of your funding, we have been able to support 31 students right here attending Goodyear High Schools, and 3 of them received safe and stable housing. You have provided so much more than financial assistance. You have helped increase the awareness of our program throughout Maricopa County. You've been advocates for our program, and because of your increasing the awareness, you've also brought a number of volunteers to support our program. We are very grateful, and we are going to continue to provide the support to all of the Goodyear residents who need our help. And we want to thank you once again for your partnership.
Hello. It's great to be here tonight to talk about some great organizations. The Cleveland Indians and the Cincinnati Reds helped the Hope team this was our 7th annual golf tournament. And what's exciting is that amount that we raised, $47,000, was the largest that's ever been raised yet. And a big chunk of that, the fiscal year just ending in June, the Hope team spent $88,000 on cancer patients treating at CTCA, all for one common goal, is to take cancer off their mind just for a little bit by taking them to the movies, to dinners. I can tell you, I go to almost all of these events. When you're at a movie theater and you know on the van that some of those patients got some very bad news, and we take them to the movie or to the Arizona Broadway Theater, and you see them laugh, it's priceless. So it's the great organizations. Mike and Ryan are just huge support for us. Ryan made sure to arrange to bring some players to the hospital. It was the talk of the hospital for weeks. So thank you for everything you guys do. Goodyear Ballpark, Bruce, was great when we take our patients over there for spring training. A couple of games, Bruce arranged to move us from where we were at to a suite. So it's all about making a cancer patient happy. So thank you.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having us here today, and thank you to Mike and Ryan and Bruce for having us here. My name is Devin. I'm here with the Southwest Valley YMCA, and I just wanted to take a minute just to let you know that the funds that we receive every year not only help out with our families that need support in coming to the YMCA who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it, but this year especially we were able to serve not only 100 additional children who did not have the opportunity to get swim lessons, but we also had 31 foster children in our summer day camp who received swim lessons at no cost to them through the funding that was provided this year through the Cleveland Indians and the Cincinnati Reds. So I might have said that backwards. I apologize if I did because I'm a little nervous. But thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate everything that you guys have helped us continue to provide here in the community.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. If you don't mind, we'd like to have the recipients come up and take a quick photo in front of the dais.
Well, let's go around the corner. Isn't that the best? Yeah, over here.
To the left. To the left? To the left, to the left. To the left, right, left.
Gotta get Wally.
Oh, my box. Where's my box?
Oh, there's a front row spot for you, right?
I hope nobody leaves yet because the council wants to say something. It was very, excuse me, Bruce, it was kind of hard in between. So, council, you've got the floor. Who would like to start? Councilman Osborne?
Thank you. You know, I love this time every year when you guys come out and present the checks. I mean, these organizations that receive the funds are all, I know, near and dear to our hearts. And so it's really exciting. You know, it was funny, Ryan, I was going to ask because next year I think will be our 10th year. And what an incredible partnership that I think our citizens really, some probably don't know, that part of our partnership with the city and the teams was you guys supporting everything, and you go above and beyond, and I think that is truly one of those things that not everybody knows what your two teams do for our community. And so I appreciate that, not only with your players, with fundraising, with being parts of, you know, committees and nonprofits. It's really wonderful, and I really thank you guys for all of it.
Councilman Loretano?
I'm going to have to just pretty much agree 100% with what Joanne said. First of all, for Mike and Ryan, the teams, a lot of people, you know, think, well, they just come out here and play sports. No, they're a part of our community. They're a part of our Goodyear family year round. And I think this shows that you guys are dedicated to making the community for us all a better place. So thank you, and thank your teams for that. And then to all the nonprofits that serve our citizens, from homeless youth to domestic violence to the YMCA, I mean, and the Hope team that helps the cancer patients. Thank you all for all the work you do for our citizens. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Brandon?
Yeah, I echo as well. I mean, I agree you guys are great community partners, and I appreciate that you're here in the community, invested in the community and helping us just become better and better. So thank you. Thank you for your support of our local nonprofits and, like I said, just being part of the community. So thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Oh, me. I keep forgetting I'm Vice Mayor, sorry.
Well, sometimes I do too, but I got it right tonight.
Okay. Well, I want to thank both of y'all for all that you do for the community, but thank you for embracing our city the way you did. We have adopted you and all of your players, and we hope to continue to be good partners with you, but we thank you for stepping out to help us provide services to our residents. Everyone that goes to the ballpark loves it. They love your teams. They love how our ballpark operates, and we're so grateful because it's the fans that keep buying the tickets that help us and give us record attendance, which we hope next year will even be more record attendance breaking. But thank you all so much, and our charities are very grateful for your support. You help them continue their mission and expand it to our residents. So thank you so much.
Councilman Vazzillo?
You know, it's really kind of hard to add to what everybody's given, except to say, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've always said, for me personally, that the reason why we're a community is because we have everybody stepping up to help each other. Whether it's the volunteers, the Indians, or the Reds, all this money goes for a worthy cause. And it makes us a great community, just not a collection of neighborhoods. So, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you do for this community. Thank you.
Councilman Stipp?
Yeah, the last is always the worst. So I'm going to go in a slightly different direction, just from a perspective that I think most everybody takes for granted, the fact that you are here 365 days of the year, that the teams don't just come in and play ball for 30 days and then hit the road. And I think we benefit from that, obviously, as a community with your participation. So, thank you for all that you do. Our nonprofits, obviously, we can't do. Government can't serve everybody, and the work of the volunteers is awesome. But for our residents that are listening, to have full-time presence by our teams here is just another reason that our spring training program in the city of Goodyear is by far the top. So thank you.
So I hope you walk away tonight knowing how much we all greatly appreciate everything that you do. And we're the spokesman for the citizens. So behind these faces come a lot of other people that are grateful for all the contributions of all the organizations that came before us tonight. So I don't want to set light of any of them because they all contributed. So thank you very much. Take some round of applause.
Just one last thing, I was gently reminded by my friend Mr. Kessman on a side note, and thank you all for those kind words. Obviously, with Homeless Youth Connection and their recent growth and them moving out of the city, we will be looking forward to working with Bruce and his team to identify a few new charities specifically housed in the city of Goodyear city limits to look to benefit for the coming years. So thank you again for the opportunity, and thank you for your words.
Thank you. All right, I'll give you, you just had to come up, so we give you one more applause, huh? All right, at 4.2, the communication items is Parks and Recreation staff will provide a review of the 2017 summer recreational season. And we have Michael Beadle, our recreation superintendent, approaching. Michael?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you tonight and highlight some of the amazing programs that we had this summer with the Parks and Recreation Department. We have two major focus areas in Parks and Recreation over the summer, and I'm going to highlight those tonight. We'll start with aquatics. The Goodyear Municipal Pool runs Memorial Day to Labor Day, and we're open to the public. We run a number of different amazing programs out of there. As you can see, junior guard program, special events, open swim where the community can come in and cool off, our swim and dive teams and swim lessons. And before this season started, we got new decking, new fencing, new diving boards, new restroom amenities. So we had a real facelift for the pool, and it showed. Last year we had about 25,000 pool attendees. This year we had 29,232, which is about a 17% increase from the prior year. So it shows that this pool is beloved by the community. It's highly utilized, and we're grateful that we were able to provide high quality services to the community out of the pool. The next up is our summer recreation sites. This is really a feather in our cap for our programs. We love the summer recreation program. The community loves the summer recreation program. We had 2 sites this year. We had 396 kids in the program. We opened up registration on a Monday. It filled by Wednesday. So we had an overwhelming response from the community for this program. And the great news for the community and for us is we are able to open a third site for the next summer. So we will be able to offer more for the community, which is outstanding. The great thing about this program is we're not just throwing a ball out in the middle of a gymnasium and calling it a summer recreation program. We keep these kids engaged. We keep them active. We keep them social throughout the day, and I think that's why the community loves it so much. We bring in speakers. We do arts and crafts. We play lots of different activities and sports. The big highlight for us is we were able to work with some of the departments like fire, who came in and taught fire safety to the kids, and police came in and did a canine presentation, and Carrie from Wellness came in and did a healthy cooking and healthy eating demonstration. So all of those things keep the kids throughout the summer engaged, excited, and active, and that's really what we're trying to accomplish with that program. We take them on field trips as well. The great news on the field trips is because we're getting a lot of family amenities in the city, we're able to keep our field trips in the city. So we got to go to Elevate Trampoline Park this year. We got to go to Harkins this year. We got to visit the pool. So we're not having to travel outside the city to create these great family outings for these kids. So that was also a really big highlight for the program. And so I'd be remiss, I'm a big data analyst guy, so I can tell you about how great our programs are, but our scorecard really comes from the citizens, comes from our surveys. So we survey all of our participants in all of our programs, and so I want to share a few of the data points with you. So 94%. So 94% of our summer recreation participants rate the program as above average or excellent. To me, that's an outstanding number. I don't think I can get 94% of people to agree on anything, much less being above average and excellent. And so that's great for us. And the community says it in our survey, some of the feedback, staff and kids are awesome. We'll be back. Keep up the great work. And then the next one's my favorite. It might be our tagline for next year is, this is the best summer program ever. So I think that's a really cool thing, really great feedback from our community. The next one, 93%. So 93% of our swim lesson participants would recommend this program to a friend. And again, I think this talks to the success and the high quality nature of the program as people are going out of their way to tell their friends about the great experience that they had in our programs. And that to us speaks more highly than anything I can come up here and say. And again, some of the community feedback, my daughter's grown so much because of these swim lessons and is far from being afraid of the water. And so to us, that is huge. Swim lessons are paramount. Teaching kids how to swim in hot Arizona where we're surrounded by open water, it's imperative to get our kids to how to swim. And if we can get kids aware of water safety and not afraid of the pool, we've done our job. And then the last one, they just talk about our staff. They talk about how amazing our swim coaches are and teaching the kids and all of those things. So that's, again, another highlight for us. And then the last one is 80%. So 80% of our program participants stated that they had the opportunity to develop friendships that would last beyond the program. And that speaks volumes for us. This is one of our most important analytics, and it's because people didn't just meet people in the program, they created friendships that last well beyond it. And so we can say that Parks and Recreation is a foundation for building community. It's where you meet people. It's where you gather socially. And so that's huge for us. You're building community and you're enhancing your quality of life just by coming to our Parks and Recreation program. And so I think that speaks a lot. And we've got a couple of pictures of just some of the kids in the summer programs that are developing friendships right there. And they're not just playing sports and activities. They're creating friendships and doing those things. So that's amazing. And so lastly, these programs don't happen by magic. Those 94% rating doesn't happen by chance. It's because of the dedication and the hard work of a number of staff, a number of part-time staff, their passion for Parks and Recreation, their love for the Goodyear community, and really just pure hard work make these programs so successful and ensure that we have high-quality programs. And so at this time, we have a few of our Parks and Recreation staff here. I would like to bring them up and have them be recognized for all of their hard work and everything they've done for us this summer. So Parks and Rec staff, come on up. And some of them are coming straight from the pool because we still are in operation at the pool, so they're coming straight from the pool to come over here. But again, thank you all so much for your dedication over the summer, and your impact on the community is huge. And we appreciate everything you do.
Well, I know council has something to say here, so who would like to start? If not, I'll sum it up. Go ahead. Joanne?
Oh, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to great programs. Thank you to great people that want to be part of kids' lives. I know that some of you are younger than others that are in this line, and I have to say that for your future, it's this kind of experience that you guys are doing right now that will lead you to the best future, and the things that you're involved in, and your future bosses or the boss you may become yourself. These things that you do with kids really are going to add impact to your own future. So thanks for doing it.
Councilman Stipp?
You know, it's obvious to say thank you, but Councilmember Osborne just brought up a really interesting point that just triggered something for me. There are two now almost 20-year members of the Goodyear Fire Department that started out in the pool. Patrick Doyle is a fire captain, been for a long time, very well respected in the organization, and Brian Dool is a battalion chief, started out at the pool as well. And I don't think they ever thought when they started serving as lifeguards that they were going to end up in a career in the fire service. So to Councilmember Osborne's point, you never know where this is going to take you, what experience this is going to do for you. So not only are we receiving a great benefit for the work that you're doing, but you as well, for those that are younger, for those of our full-time staff, you know, obviously the work that you do allows us to go into the community with our heads held high and talk very positively about it. And no matter what happens in a community, the Parks and Rec program really becomes that linchpin. And for that, I'm very grateful to have you. So thanks.
Brandon?
Yeah, I think it's a great program. I mean, I went to summer rec when I was a kid, and I think the summer rec programs are great. I know my circles of friends and family, people were pretty quick to try to get into the summer rec program, so they knew it was going to go fast. So thank you for and it all builds a sense of community as well. That's what you guys are doing. You're the parks and recs, and people, it's gathering places for people to come and be safe and enjoy the community. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Hampton. Councilman Loretano?
Of course, I want to say thank you for all the work you've done. Looks like a great program. Looks like you had a lot of fun. Looks like the kids had a lot of fun too. And like Councilmember Osborne said, you know, this is great, something for your careers as you move on. It's a leadership role, and also what you're instilling in the kids, that their lives you've touched. We've had several kids in and out of different rec programs, and I've always had the best experience with everybody that's worked in the rec programs. So, you know, when parents drop their kids off to entrust them for the summer program, it's great to see that they're having so much fun. So thank you.
Councilman Pasillo?
It's hard to add a whole lot to that. I mean, you've kind of covered all the bases, but again, thank you very much for all you do.
Are we all right? Okay, well, first of all, great presentation. The first time you came up, I said, this man is really talented. And you truly are. You didn't need the pictures, you brought it to life. And you were sincere, and it was exciting to hear. So thank you, and thank you, volunteers and staff. I always say this, and I'll repeat it. I was a swimming coach and a swimming teacher, so for years, and I know how important it is, because you're basically saving lives you never know you saved. Because when they leave, you know they're going to be able to get out of dangerous situations, and even if they get as far as dog paddling, you know that they're going to make it in life. So congratulations and thank you, and for all the other programs. So round of applause. Huh? Better come up for a picture. Is there going to be pictures on this?
We should.
Staff, are we doing that?
Yeah,
Hello?
Okay.
Yes, a picture would be
Up
great.
there. Okay. You still here?
Where's that?
I don't
9
see.
o'clock.
Someone bring your iPhone up. Let's go.
There we go.
Get down in the front on one knee. Which way to the beach?
Same thing happens at home. Okay, now I will read a proclamation recognizing August 2017 as the Drowning Impact Awareness Month. Will Community Education Coordinator Tanya Tanner please come forward? Tanya?
Mrs. Tanner.
I want you to look at this audience, though. I want to know what a great job you do. Drowning Impact Awareness Month, August 2017. Whereas Arizona's future prosperity depends upon the long-term health and safety and the well-being of nearly 2 million children and teens in our state. And whereas drowning, well, it's the top cause of injury and death for children and teens in Arizona, affecting not only the victims, but you see the families and emergency personnel in our society as a whole. Whereas we recognize that drowning knows no age, as almost 75% of the water-related incidents in Goodyear involve adults. So any of you adults that don't know how to swim, get in our swim program. Whereas drownings are nearly 100% preventable. Whereas research and proven strategies can save lives, including constant and capable supervision, restricting access to water, use of life jackets. Yeah, I remember we were young, we didn't want to wear one, didn't look good, right? So yeah, we have to force people, put those life jackets on. Swimming lessons for adults and children, and rapid emergency response, including CPR. Whereas during the month of August, the City of Goodyear, led by Goodyear Fire Department, Goodyear Parks and Recreation Aquatics, in collaboration with the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona, and area hospitals, community organizations, and private citizens, will engage our community in water safety for all ages. Now, therefore, it be resolved that I, Georgia Lord, the Mayor of the City of Goodyear of Arizona, do hereby proclaim August 27th as Drowning Impact Awareness Month and urge all the residents of Goodyear to participate in efforts to reduce drowning risk. Given under my hand in these free United States on the 21st day of August 2017, to which I have caused the seal of the City of Goodyear to be affixed and have made this proclamation public. Thank you for all you do. All right, now is the time for citizens who would like to address the City Council on any non-agenda item within the jurisdiction of the Goodyear City Council. Do we have any cards? All right. Is there anybody in the audience that changed their mind and wanted to speak? All right, then we're going on the consent agenda. Will the city clerk please read consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.3 by title only, please?
6.1, approve draft minutes from a regular meeting and a special meeting held on July 10th, 2017, and a regular meeting and a special meeting held on July 17th, 2017. 6.2, approve a request from Amy S. Nations, agent for Tomo America, Inc., doing business as Tomo Japanese Cuisine, for a new Series 12 liquor license number 1207B091, located at 1550 North Dysart Road, number A7, A8, and A9, Goodyear, Arizona. 6.3, approve a request from Jeffrey Craig Miller, agent for AC Goodyear, LLC, doing business as Angry Crab Shack Restaurant, for an acquisition of control for a Series 12 liquor license number 1207A226, located at 310 North Litchfield Road, Goodyear, Arizona.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Does anyone in the council wish to remove an item? Great. And can I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
I heard a motion by Councilman, by Vice Mayor Campbell, and I think it was Councilman Stipp did the second. All right. Roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne?
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Hampton?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. We're on to the business. Now, refrain, council, reminder again to refrain from asking questions till the staff presentations are complete, and there's a motion on the table. Just to alert you, the 7.7 is being pulled administratively and will return in the future. So you can just mark that one off. All right, we'll go to 7.1. The item on business to appoint members of the Youth Commission. Assistant to the council, Jessica Perry will present. Jessica?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The purpose of the Youth Commission is to provide an opportunity for high school students to develop leadership skills through city government and community involvements. Last year, the commission was comprised of 9 members, and 5 of those members graduated from high school and 2 were up for reappointment, leaving several vacancies. Thanks to the communications department and the school leaders for helping to get the word out, we had a very successful recruitment process. The boards and commissions selection committee reviewed the applications, interviewed the selected members, and is recommending 12 members to be appointed tonight and 2 reappointments. Please note that the 1-year appointments are for seniors graduating in the spring. These students come to us with great ideas and are eager to get started, so I look forward to updating you with their progress throughout the year. And with that, if you have any questions.
All right, thank you. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Anybody in the audience would like to speak? If not, could I have a motion and a second to appoint these individuals?
So moved.
Second.
Did you name them out? Because
I sure can.
You can. You know, I have to give you the name, but if you got them, you name them out since they all.
Okay. I believe almost everybody is here, and those who aren't, we will do the oath of loyalty at the next meeting.
Yeah, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Gabriella Burton, Tess Krubaugh, Trent Davis, Matthew Gue, Jordan Hall, Patrick Mackey, Roman Mena, Serena Navarro, Miles Williams, Sarah McBride, Julian Mena, Mitchell Schilling, Siobhan Farrell, and Jonathan Sangelo.
And that is for a 2-year term expiring August 21st, 2019. So the next is to appoint, and we'll do the oath at one time. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay. 2 is to appoint Sarah McBride, Julian Mena, Mitchell Schilling to 1-year terms to the Youth Commission expiring August 21st. And 3, to appoint Siobhan Farrell to a 2-year term to the Youth Commission expiring August 21st, 2019. And 4, reappoint Jonathan Sangelo to a 1-year term to the Youth Commission expiring August 21st, 2018. I need a motion.
So moved.
A second. I heard a motion by Councilman Bazil and a second by Vice Mayor Campbell. Open for council discussion. Yes, Councilman Loretano.
When we got the opportunity to interview this wonderful, phenomenal group of young people, I think I can say it we were just blown out of the water with everything you guys have accomplished, and I'm so excited to see what you will accomplish. And to all the parents, grandparents sitting in the audience, thank you for letting us borrow your children to help us with the city.
Councilman Osborne?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, guys, you're here. We're proud of you. Thank you. Councilmember Loretano and I had the chance to meet you all, and that was a great time. I know that this was kind of a new process to some of you, and I tell you, you're outstanding. And I hate to put the pressure on you, but you're going to show some good things. I know it. And parents, bravo to you for getting your kids involved and being part of the city, because the way I see it is that you're starting here and you're going to say when you're an adult someday that, hey, I can be part of whatever city that you're going to be in. We're looking forward to that. We hope that it's staying here in Goodyear, right? And we look forward to this next year, what you're going to do.
Any comments here? The other side? Yeah, Councilman Vasillo?
Again, I appreciate you all stepping up. You are our future. So again, there could be a time when you could be sitting on the side. So again, I appreciate all your efforts stepping up, and I know I sound like a broken record, but the reason why we're a community is volunteers stepping up and filling the roles of needs of our citizens. So again, thank you.
Jessica, I guess you're going to do the oath, is that right? Or the city clerk is?
The city clerk.
Are we going to vote?
We got to vote first.
We have to vote.
Oh, we haven't voted first.
Yeah, we've
Oh,
got the
We
motion.
got the motion. Well, I know what you're going to vote, but let's see, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Sorry about that. Could you do it here so we, like, in the center here, so they can stay and we can?
Is it all right?
Yeah, good.
Okay, everybody raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of commission member according to the best of my ability. So I do affirm. Congratulations.
Just bring them up here, all in front of the dais. We'll stand here. Bring them right up in front, all of them. Move this way, and that way they can line up. I don't know how she gets that picture, but the corner is too small now.
Okay. You have to stand really
Yeah,
far
I know.
away.
Oh, here, just tell us how you want. We can move closer, whatever you want. All right? Young adults, I want to see smiles on those faces.
Don't be nervous.
If this side, the ends could scoot in a little bit.
Right, sideways.
Okay, turn sideways,
Show
guys.
them how to turn sideways.
And
There we
then
go. Everybody,
move
go
sideways, Matt.
Everybody go sideways. That's it. Close up. Close up. Be friendly.
I'll count 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Hold up, mom's bed. Some more.
And I'll send pictures around to everybody. Okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys. Congratulations.
That was a good-looking group of young people, weren't they? I know how, I can see why you're so excited about it. Yeah, that's great to hear. Okay, now we're down to 7.2. It's a public hearing to consider the special use permit to allow a church in a C2 district. Public hearing is open. Planning Manager Katie Wilkham will present. Katie?
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. New Day Church has purchased 1.73 acres, which is located at the southwest corner of Western Avenue and Litchfield Road. They are proposing locating in the old True Value Hardware building. The zoning portion of it is C2 and a portion is I2. In both zoning districts, a church requires a special use permit, which is why we're here tonight. The building shell will remain as is, and tenant improvement plans will be submitted to redo the interior of the building. The parking lot is going to be, I should go back. The parking lot will be fixed up and brought into code compliance since it hasn't been used. I think there are some weeds out there. A traffic study was conducted and approved by the city. On July 26th, a neighborhood meeting was held. No one from the public attended this meeting. Notice was given, and at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, we did have one member of the public speak in favor of the proposal. To date, we haven't received any concerns or objections regarding the proposal. All of that being said, that concludes my presentation. Staff recommends approval of
and the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of the special use permit. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Katie. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? All right, then, since we don't have any speakers, I'm closing the public hearing. Can I have a motion and a second to approve a special use permit for the New Day Church to locate with an existing building on 129 East Western Avenue? Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Campbell, Vice Mayor Campbell, and a second by Councilman Loretano. Thank you, ladies. Open for council discussion? No discussion?
here?
Oh, excuse me.
Is the applicant here?
Is the applicant here?
With the crowd, I wasn't able to see.
Mayor, I just have a couple
Yes,
quick questions.
go ahead, Councilman Stipp.
First of all, congratulations on the purchase of your property. Are you relocating from somewhere?
My name is Samuel Alfaro. I'm the pastor of the church. And for the last 9 years, we have been renting school cafeterias in the Phoenix district, Pendergast. And so we are really excited to actually have a place. We're really excited to be part of Goodyear. Whoever said that city council meetings were boring hasn't come to Goodyear, because tonight was really, really exciting to hear all the wonderful things that are going on in this place. And we are looking forward to contributing ourselves to the city of Goodyear. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, great. So I'm going to add one more to your, you can take this one away. So if you think about you're taking over a true value, and there's no greater, truer value than a church. So thank you for choosing our city.
Amen.
And I don't mean that lightly. I'm very serious, but
I
thank you for choosing the city.
Thank you.
Councilman Stiff, you've just been poetic tonight. I don't know. But I don't know, but I want to eat what you eat for dinner. Very good. All right, so with that, any other discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Osborne.
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano.
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp.
Aye.
Councilmember Hampton.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Lord.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Welcome, welcome to Goodyear. All right, 7.3 on business is a public hearing to consider the amendment to the Palm Valley Crossings Development Guidelines. Open the public hearing. Planner 3, Steve Karishi, will present. Steve?
Thank you, Mayor, council members. Do have a PAD amendment for you tonight. It's for the Palm Valley Crossing PAD. That zoning was approved in 1995. Then we had development guidelines, which included signage. Those were approved in 1996. 2004 was modification to the freeway pylon sign, 80 feet of height, new tenant panels, and a new electronic display. And what that did in 2004 is give us the freeway pylon sign that we have today that we see as we drive along I-10. And this is the current configuration of the sign. What the applicant would like to do is to replace the existing display with a full color display. They also initially had requested to have moving text and images and animation. However, since the writing of this staff report and this presentation, the applicant has provided correspondence that the board, while they initially wanted the moving text and animation, they understand the city's federal and state regulations on that. So they are going to comply with the standards in the development guidelines that were provided to you. And basically, since the signage was part of development guidelines, that is why it's a PAD amendment and has to come before you tonight, and why it had to go before the commission on August 9th. And I do have an updated version of what the freeway pylon sign will look like. The main change will be the electronic display, but the applicant will also be changing out the tenant panels, the lighting inside. They're going to update it to LED lighting. They're also going to repaint. But basically, the configuration, the height of the sign remains unchanged. And this new exhibit will become part of the 2017 development guidelines for Palm Valley Crossing. And because it is a PAD amendment, we did have to do our standard public notice. We posted the property, legal ad in a newspaper, sent out the notices to surrounding property owners. To date, staff has not received any public comment on this request. Planning and Zoning Commission hearing, again, August 9th, we didn't have any public opposition voiced at the hearing either.
Great.
And so staff does recommend approval of the PAD amendment. Planning and Zoning Commission also recommended approval on August 9th. And we are recommending approval subject to the federal and state standards. Again, those are the 8-second static messages, the dimming between sunset and 11, and then the sign turns off from 11 p.m. to sunrise. And those are the standards that, while the applicant was not necessarily, those were not the standards they wanted, they have corresponded that they will abide by the standards as written in the development guidelines. With that, Mayor, that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Steve. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? All right, then I'm going to close the public hearing. Will the city clerk please read resolution numbers 17-1819 by title only, please?
Adopt resolution number 17-1819 declaring as a public record that certain document filed with the city clerk entitled Palm Valley Crossing Development Guidelines, Section 6, Sign Standards, dated July 2017.
All right, I'm calling for a motion.
So moved.
Second. All right, I heard a motion by Councilman Loretano and a second by Councilman Pizzillo. Open for council discussion. Councilman Stipp.
Steve, you said a couple things tonight that kind of threw me. Nothing has changed from the material that we saw for this meeting tonight, correct? You said we wanted this, but then that changed, and we've updated that just threw me for a complete loop because I thought I was 100% across the goal line. So has anything changed since the material that we received last week?
Mayor, council members, apologize, I can clarify. What the staff report it states is that the applicant was requesting animation and moving text.
And you said that in there?
Yes. Since then, and before that I could update materials, the applicant has indicated that they will not contest city's requirements that there has to be static messages, no movement.
That we meet federal and state law?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. So then the follow-up question to that is, who monitors then the composition of the material on the sign? The messages and, I mean, who monitors that?
Mayor, council members, the property manager, the board sets the signage, and they have
Yeah, they decide what the quote-unquote message is, but what if they go, hey, you know what, we're going to slip in an animation? Who's the sign police?
Mayor, Councilperson Stipp, the sign police or who monitors that would be code compliance.
Okay. And the final question is, this is not a billboard. This is not a billboard. This is an electronic sign advertising for the businesses within that, not a
What's the difference?
come fly Southwest Airlines.
Yep.
Right.
correct. It is not a billboard with off-premise advertising. It's an on-premise sign that only will advertise the uses on-site.
And I think that's a very important distinction that we need to make, is we are not approving a digital billboard. We are approving an electronic sign allowed by our signed ordinance, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Councilman Stipp?
I'm all done.
Oh, you know what I did? I did it. I had to do it. Councilman Pizzillo.
It's my understanding, though, even though it's not a billboard, we're consistently following the same standards we do for the electronic billboards. We're consistent with those standards as far as regulations, when it can run, the rotation, everything, so we're not playing favorites with one or the others on this, right?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
I have a quick question.
Vice Mayor?
My quick question is, the height stays the same, all they're doing is just redoing the center part where the moving message has been, and they're going to repaint it where it looks a little bit fresher?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yes, yes.
Osborne?
Thank you. Okay, so most everyone knows my feelings on billboards.
No.
And no, yes. And electronic signs. However, so a couple things. I'm still under this thought of how this is not a billboard per se, even though it's still an advertisement for the auto industry. I guess it's still, to me, in my eyes, a billboard. So I'm trying to define what a billboard is versus what this is. What's the difference? I mean, a billboard, you're renting out advertisements for anything, I suppose, but this is still a billboard per se for the auto industry. Is that not accurate, or how do you define the difference, I guess?
Mayor, Council, a clear distinction would be on-premise or off-premise advertising. This sign is not a billboard. It is an on-premise advertising sign.
Okay.
That can only advertise businesses within Palm Valley Crossing. They could not advertise for a dealership in a
Understood.
neighboring city.
Understood. Well, why would they want to, but understood. You know, I'm so proud of what our city has done to support really the auto industry and our businesses in Goodyear. You know, I know that this area had one of the first pylon signs that the city approved. We were proud to help that whole area continue to grow for that industry. You know, I'm thrilled that the city had always worked, even with sales tax, of having a different sales tax so that it kept the auto industry that was here in Goodyear compatible and I want to say not compatible, I want to say competitive with all the other dealerships across I-10. I can totally understand why they want this change, because part of that competitiveness is other auto industries have that kind of signage. So I thoroughly understand that. My whole issue, and has always been, is the issue of safety. And that's what I'm trying to, you know, I don't care whether it's on-site, off-site advertising, it's still the distraction of what it is that bothers me. And whether, I'm very pleased that we're sticking with the federal guidelines. I'm very pleased that the applicant realized that, needed to change that. You know, I'm thrilled about that. And I also want to say that even if you still, to my fellow council members, whether this is an issue to you or not, you know, originally when we brought on the 2 billboards for the city of Goodyear, we said, okay, these were the only 2 ones here in the city, and we only did it on city property, which I never felt was right for other businesses. So I would say, you know, just for that, this business should be allowed to have a billboard, because it's not right to say government can have it, but a business cannot. So I would fight for my fellow business person in that regard. I still have, it's the crux of the safety that bothers me and the distraction of it that bothers me. And Lord knows we have enough people distracted driving out there. They don't need that. Yes, cell phone, thank you. But the other thing, too, is that we just did a full change of signage design guidelines. We said that there was an area in town that we were going to allow for all of this digital look, and that was in what we called our entertainment area. You know, we blocked that off. There again, I'm going to say allow this business to have it, because I still believe that they are in the right. However, I'm going to stick with my Joanne principle, and that is safety for me, and I will be voting no. But all those other reasons, I still say I would be for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Councilman Loretano.
I totally respect everything you're saying, And I know Councilmember Councilmember Pizzillo brought up the issue of the cell phones and safety before, which I think is even probably, I agree with you 100%. We want to make sure. I'm okay with this. This was a billboard that had a message before, prior to this. Basically, we're just changing the technology or the manner of technology for that area. And on the positive, not only were you changing that portion, it's going to be dark for dark skies at night, and so it won't disrupt people. But the LED lighting is a better light source. So I like the fact that they're going to modernize the whole sign. So for me, I don't see it as adding, I see it as modernizing. And when we look at the signs that we talked about the last meeting and everything, we talked a lot about how important it is for our businesses to get signs. We're competing a lot against Amazon and a lot against all these online, and you can buy your car now online and just pick it up, and there's actually people now that will drive it. I forgot what the website is, but they're starting all these, all these businesses that you don't even have to go to the dealership. So in looking at that, I want to make sure that our businesses remain competitive here so we don't lose our businesses. So I'm going to vote for it.
Comment over here? Okay, so council discussion. Now I have a roll call vote.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Laurentano?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Hampton?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne?
No.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-1.
I just didn't say this, but I want to thank the applicant for the understanding and coming forth and making the change. And I know it's always tough, especially when it's revenue and running a business. So thank you. All right, let's go on to the next. Okay. So will the city clerk please read ordinance number 17-1361 by title only, please?
Adopt an ordinance number 17-1361, amending the Palm Valley Crossing Planned Area Development Guidelines, Section 6 Sign Standards, amending the zoning map of the City of Goodyear, providing for non-abridgment, providing for corrections, providing for severability, providing for an effective date, and providing for penalties.
Thank you. Could I please have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Stiff and a second by Council Pizzillo. Open for council discussion? No discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Laurentano?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Hampton?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne? Excused?
She was excused.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
All right, thank you. We're going to 7.4, the business items to consider approving a preliminary plat for Astoria Parcel 9.1. And Steve's back on. Steve Korechi, Planner 3. Steve?
Thank you again, Mayor, council members. This is the preliminary plat, parcel 9.1. It's within the Montecito PAD portion of Estrella. That zoning was approved in 2008. Parcel here, 9.1, 22.91 acres. Surrounding it to the north, to the west, existing parcels within Estrella. To the east and to the south, we have future developments, single-family and multifamily development. Preliminary plats for 9.1, they were approved in 2011 and 2013. However, at that time, the development was not considered appropriate at that time, so the approvals did expire. However, now the applicant would like to move forward, and they are proceeding with subdivision plats. And this plat for 9.1, the pre-plat, is similar. It's the same as the previously approved plats. The 22.91 acres. And this is the layout for the preliminary plat. Lot sizes is 52 feet wide by 104 feet deep. 27% of the development will be provided in open space. Density is a little over 4 units per acre. Specific home builder has yet to be determined for this parcel. 2 points of access are required for every development. Ultimate points will be here at Galveston and down here. at 178th Lane. Galveston is existing. 178th Lane will not continue south until those parcels develop. So there will be no access here to Willis or Estrella Parkway in the interim. So what the applicant has proposed and the fire department and our engineering department has reviewed and approved is an access easement that'll be right here south of lot 25. The easement will be here, and then the applicant will construct an all-weather access road in accordance with our engineering design standards. With that, the staff, we are recommending approval. Staff and the Planning Commission are recommending approval subject to the stipulations in the staff report. With that, Mayor, that concludes my presentation. Available for any questions.
Thank you, Steve. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? All right, with that, could I please have a motion and a second to approve the preliminary plat for Australia Parcel 9.1 subdividing 22.91 acres into 92 single-family lots and 11 tracts located approximately 800 feet north of the northwest corner of Australia Parkway and Willis Road within the Montecito Phase 3 Planned Area Development, PAD, subject to stipulations. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Hampton. That's very good. And a second by Councilman Stipp. Is that correct? Open for council discussion. No discussion.
I've got a question.
Oh, Councilman Pasillo.
Question, where's the fire station
Thank
in
you
this,
very much.
in this location eventually going to be?
Somebody needs to come
Somebody
forth
come-
and
yeah.
address that question.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The fire station 186 in South Goodyear will be located at the southeast corner of Estrella and Willis. It's slightly, probably about 1,000 feet or less, 800 feet off of the intersection south.
So, I mean, do you have where's that relationship to this map here?
We have somebody coming up to help you here.
Go back about 2 slides.
So intersections here with Willis and Estrella, and so it's going to be right in this area here where the pointer is.
All right, thank you. Second question on the road, or that access, second access to 2 slides up. Is that an actual road where traffic will be going in and out of? Or is it like a gate or a fence that's only there for emergencies?
Mayor, Council, it's only for emergency personnel only, so not public. So they'll have either some form of gate or some kind of barrier. So it's not intended for public use, no.
Okay, thank you. The only reason why I have a problem with that is if you look at this neighborhood, if that's temporary, there's only one way in this place for the normal traffic as they come all the way through that far reaches of that cul-de-sac up above. From a layout standpoint for a neighborhood, own personal view, it's not a very good layout. Now, I understand for fire protection, if fire's bought off on a way of getting in there for service, well, you think about that one entrance to the other one opens up, that's a long ways for somebody back in that corner to get to who's only got that one entrance up there. Was any consideration in creating something from an access standpoint for that neighborhood?
Stevie here.
Hold on, you got somebody.
Yeah.
Let's get the engineering on in this.
Thank you, Councilmember Pizzillo and Mayor. So whenever a product or development comes in, they always provide a traffic impact analysis. That provides how people are going to access the site. When they go to purchase a lot, they're going to see where they're located. They're going to see that they have a circuitous drive to get out. But I'll be honest with you, a lot of homeowners
want that. They don't want to be on an access point so that there's a quick and fast and easy way to get out. It also slows traffic on the individual streets, but this is normal and customary. And again, until the access point to the south opens, this is the way they're going to have one access way in.
It's only temporary. Yeah, I know it's only temporary, but maybe a lot of them are like that. I can see that, and I can appreciate the traffic part. But that's a long ways to get back here in that corner with just one access road. That's just my own personal feeling on how this is laid out. But I appreciate the answer.
Any other comments?
Oh, I had a question.
Councilman Campbell?
I had a question regarding the fire station. Do we have any idea when it's going to start? We keep approving all of these plots, and we add them and add them and add them, and we've still only got the one fire station. So I'd like to know if you know anything.
And yes, what I can tell you is that we are currently reviewing individual RFQs for who is going to design that station. I'm going to be part of that selection panel and we're going to do that through the finance department and fire department. And so I think it's approximately 2 weeks before we are go through the review of those companies that are going to provide the design of that. And I'm trying to, I can get you a firm date on when they're going to start the design, but I don't have that right on the top of my head.
Okay, and then can you give an estimate date of actual construction then?
So, Mayor, members of the council, and Vice Mayor. So this year, the capital improvement plan is for design for both. We're actually doing a design for 3 fire stations, all under one contract. And then construction will be the following year. We're looking at opening in, July 2019?
Yes.
July 1st, 2019.
Yeah, so we're anticipating that potentially construction could start after the January of 18.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, let's vote on this. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Let's go to 7.5. This is to consider a preliminary plat for PV 303 East to South. Planning Manager Katie Wilkin to present. Katie?
Thank you once again, Mayor and members of council. As was stated, this is the preliminary plat for PV 303 East to South. It's located east of the 303, south of Indian School Road, and future phases of Pebble Creek Phase 2 are located southeast of it. And this parcel may look a little bit familiar to you because you did just consider a special use permit for a church on a portion of this property. The proposal is to split the land into 7 parcels. The property is zoned PAD. It's part of the Palm Valley 303 planned area development, and this land is designated as commercial. The 7 parcels all conform to the commercial zoning regulations for lot size, and there is legal access planned to all 7 parcels. The preliminary plat does include a preliminary landscape plan for the landscaping of the areas along the roadways, which has been included in the presentation. The preliminary plat was found to be consistent with the city's zoning, the subdivision regulations, and engineering design standards. Planning and Zoning Commission considered the request for the preliminary plat, and they recommend approval of the preliminary plat. We have not received any comment from the public to date on this proposal. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions. Bob Bambauer, representing the applicant, is also here and is happy to answer any questions you may have.
Patiently waiting here, so thank you. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody like to speak? All right. Then could I have a motion and a second to approve the preliminary plat for PV 303 East to South, subdividing 43.7 acres into 7 parcels located at the southeast corner of SR 303 and Indian School, subject to stipulations. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from Councilman Hampton and a second from Vice Mayor Campbell. Open for council discussion?
Question.
Yes, Councilman, Vice Mayor.
Katie, if you'll go back to the slide that shows the landscaping. All right, I have no idea where that's going to go. Do you?
Yes.
Is it going to go against Indian School and 303, or is that going to go on the inside?
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor Campbell. These images that are up right now are the plans along Indian School Road.
Okay.
So it includes the median and the right-of-way areas along Indian School Road.
So is 303 to the left, go back, sweetie, to the left of these pictures on this side?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I think it's a landscape plan.
Hmm?
I think it's a landscape plan.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I just can't make heads or tails of it, but that's fine.
Can we go on?
I'm sorry.
All right,
Yeah,
any
Mayor.
other comments?
I just had a question.
I just want to make sure I verify. So after this, now we can, if they wanted to, they could get businesses to, people could purchase the new plots and move forward and start building, correct?
Thank you. Yes, the
Short answer.
preliminary plat, then there's also final platting stage.
There's more to come.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Yes.
All right. So so it's time, another time for discussion on other things, so. All right, is everybody done? Let's put it to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Katie, thank you. 7.6, some business to consider approving the fiscal year 18 expenditures for bulk fuel purchases from Synergy Holdings. Fleet Manager Charles Schneider will present. Charles?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Thank you for the opportunity to come back and before you tonight. Tonight, I'm seeking your approval to spend an estimated $600,000 with Synergy Holdings, a state-contracted bulk fuel distributor. The $600,000 represents the fuel usage for FY18. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? Then please give me a motion and a second to approve the FY18 expenditures in the amount of $600,000 for the purchase of bulk fuel, unleaded diesel, and E-85 from Synergy Holdings. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
I heard a motion from Councilman Stipp and a second from Councilman Bazzillo. Open for council discussion. Councilman Bazzillo.
This is all budgeted, I assume, right? For
Mayor, members
600,000?
of the council, yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. Estimate, based on where fuel's going right now, is the 600,000 going to be enough to cover what you have in your budget?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Stipp?
I don't want to put you on the spot. Do you know how much you spent last year?
Mayor, members of the council, $525,000.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
That was 526.
All right, then we're going to vote for this. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The next item was 7.7, which we pulled. So we're going down to 7.8. On the business item, consider appointing a council subcommittee for an executive search for firm selection. And we have before us Director Lyman Lockett, Human Resources, presenting. Lyman?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you know, after 23 years of dedicated service, City Manager Brian Dahlke has decided to retire. I was trying to come up with something. I'm not sure what city managers hang up, but he's going to hang something up and move into the second phase of life. His final day is scheduled to be January the 6th. As a result of his retirement, City Council has instructed staff to begin the procurement process to find an executive search firm to lead a national search for a new city manager. We have begun that process, and we have 5 proposals that are ready for review. Council has also desired to appoint a subcommittee to run that selection process to determine who will lead the search. Along with appointing a subcommittee, we are recommending that council approve a budget transfer of $50,000 from the city manager's contingency fund to pay for the executive search services and related cost. This evening, following the appointment of the subcommittee, I'll provide the members with the proposals so they can begin that review process. We anticipate that the review process will take approximately 30 minutes per proposal, so approximately 2.5 to 3 hours on an individual basis, and then 2 hours as a group, as a committee formed together. One of the challenges that we'll face is working through the holiday period, so in order to keep the process moving, we have recommended a schedule for the committee to follow, and that will hopefully minimize the impact of the holidays as we try and work through the recruitment process. What we would recommend is the subcommittee would convene on the 29th or the 30th of this month. And then as they convene, they will make the selection of the search firm that will be used. Staff will then take that direction and finalize the contract between the 31st of August and the 6th of September. And we would anticipate that the search firm would begin working with council on the 7th, somewhere between the 7th and the 12th of September. Hopefully in the first week of September, they would begin making contact with council to develop the profile for the new city manager, and also to develop the timeline that would then go to council for approval, and then they would begin working the national search. So that's the prescribed time frame that we are recommending. And with that, I will turn it back over to you, Madam Mayor, for discussion about the appointment of the subcommittee.
Thank you. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? All right. Could I have a motion, a second, to number one, appoint a subcommittee to select an executive search firm to assist the city council in the selection of a new city manager? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
I heard a motion from Vice Mayor Campbell and a second from Councilman Hampton. Before we begin this, so for the discussion, I am going to take mayor's privilege, so I will be one of the members of this three-man committee. It's 3 men, I mean,
Three-person
three of us,
committee, yes.
three-person, sorry, three-person committee. So you're open for suggestions for 2 others to serve with me on this. So, Councilman Pizzilla?
Get the discussion going. I'll throw out 2 names, Councilmember Stipp and Councilmember Osborne.
Any other discussion?
I would agree to that.
Pardon me?
I third that.
You heard that, okay.
Third that.
And no other suggestions? Okay, well, let's do. So how am I going to do this? So do I have to make the motion? Or we just have to agree that, from this discussion, that will be Mayor Lord, Councilman Stipp, and Councilman Osborne on this committee. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, that's what the motion has said. So now we're going to vote on it. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Now, the second part, can I have a motion and a second to approve the related FY18 budget transfers from the city manager's contingency? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from Vice Mayor Campbell and a second from Councilman Stipp. Open for council discussion. No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. All right, we're on information item. Does council have any comments or commendation or reports on current events?
Well, I have one.
Yes, Councilman Osborne.
Well, I have to say, because I know that Joe does talk about his grandchildren occasionally on the council.
Yeah.
I'm a very proud mommy because my youngest just started her first day of her last year in school.
Wow.
As a senior in college. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that my husband and I have gotten 4 kids through school and from this grand city of ours. So I just had to mention that. Thank you.
Congratulations. That's a big investment you've made.
Believe me.
Yeah. Councilman Loretano?
I just want to give, this isn't where we ask manager for update or anything, right?
I just, are you all done with the comment,
No, I
comments?
have a comment too. I just wanted to
Okay,
make
go
sure.
ahead. Do that one, please.
I just want to say that over the break, got to talk to some people and give kudos to our city staff. They commented how clean our city was and everything again. Yeah, I hear this over and over again. So when people come in and you talk to them, they're like just very amazed at how clean it is. So
Thank you for those comments. Any others before we go to the next?
Yeah, I
Okay.
got one, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, a little over the break a little bit, not within my Goodyear City capacity, but outside of Goodyear City capacity, I've been touring some nonprofits, which has been eye-opening as well. So you Mom and Homeless Cass downtown, and the St. Joseph the Worker, and Maryville Community Center, and just some different, a lot of really neat organizations that are out there that are doing a lot of good, and that the city has been, in one way or the other, with our subcommittee, has been funding the 2-in-1 system and things like that. So it's been good, and talking to other people, a lot of people know Goodyear, and they also know our spring training and some different things about Goodyear. So it's good. Not an expert, but yeah, it's definitely been a good experience. So
Okay.
yeah.
Councilman Osborne?
I did want to mention one thing. I have to give my hat off to our police department and just how they've been involved in our community. And Saturday night, they were doing a fundraiser, Tip a Cop, at Mikhail's. And, it was really wonderful to see our finest out there, just really being part of a nonprofit, but, just in the community and always ready to help. And so I'm really proud of them.
I'm sorry I wasn't able to go to that. I was missing that one. So any other comments? Then I'm going to go to the city manager. Anything to report?
Mayor, Council, and thank you, Councilmember Osborne, for bringing that up. Just a little bit more on that. The Tip Cop, as you said, we had several officers there, but it was also special. They had 5 Special Olympians there, as well as several explorers, and then a member of the VIPs as well. So it was quite the gathering, and they raised $1,910 for Special Olympics. So congratulations. Now, you will have a couple other opportunities to tip a cop in the future, so we'll let you know when those are, but we try and get the word out well in advance.
Great.
But Mayor and Council, other than, I know this is your conference week with the Arizona Cities and Towns Conference, so wish you all well there, and hope you enjoy it, and great weather and a great conference, so wish you well on that. And I did not have any follow-up items, at least at this point.
All right. And council, does anyone have anything they want on a future agenda item? Councilman Loretano?
I don't think it's really a future agenda item, but it came out on the manager's report, so I kind of wanted to give a little background on where it came from. We get these monsoon storms, and like there was one that went through just like literally just about 3 or 4 streets at West Star and just took out tree after tree after tree. But apparently their bulk trash had just come. So that sat out there like huge, not just small little piles, like huge piles of trees for almost a month. So I talked to the city manager, and I just want to give you the background. What I was talking about was when we have those like emergency weather events, he's going to look into how we can help our neighborhoods clean up after those events if their bulk trash is not like the next day. I guess the chief put that Palm Valley had a weather event, but they were fortunate that the bulk trash was very close. I mean, it hit
It was
good.
the next day,
So that's what I had asked for, is just in those very specific neighborhoods where we have those weather events, if we can look at a way to help those neighbors clean up.
Well, I sort of added to that, didn't I, when I saw your request. I thought we need some, and I'm not going to use the right words, I'm sure, when I talk about it. We need some kind of emergency process from when we have those times. We don't have them very often. So I don't know, what we're going to do on bulk trash. I don't know if we're going to do new contracts. I don't know where we're going to be. But the idea was, well, maybe we could have an appendix, an add-on to it that would cover one big, terrible, I don't know what I'm going to say. We say a tornado, we're not going to get a tornado, whatever it would be. Or similar to what we had where we lost
Straight line winds.
Okay. And so that's what I would like for discussion coming up. And so you'd have bulk trash, and And if we could get a company that would do this, then we would put a portion that would cover this. And if we didn't use it that year, they would pass it on to the next year, maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a pie in the sky idea. But anyway, I did talk to him I thought, at first, when you gave the idea, I went, I don't know. And then went home and started thinking about it. I thought, no.
And then I sent pictures out to the city manager.
Yeah. So I thought.
And Mayor and Council, while this is not an agenda item, I would say, though, that we do have a consultant on board that's analyzing our sanitation program right now that will look at both pickup, regular pickup, and also bulk. Our contract expires in 2019 with Waste Management, so we're starting that process now. It's really fact-finding right now. We'll be coming back to council for direction on that. Do we want to add programs, or not? But we do need that input from council. The other is, there's not an opportunity with Waste Management to augment our bulk trash services right now. We have a 2-person crew, and for them to come off of their cycles has a huge impact on the whole routes as they go through that. But we will be looking at that as an opportunity as we go forward with additional contracts that we'll be looking at in 2019.
So I know we have disaster plan, but this would be that small event that could happen. Yes, Councilman Stipp?
I'd like to add one more thing to that, and then I've got another item. Perhaps this is an opportunity for the sanitation folks not to come off the route, but to perhaps we say, a Saturday, we pay the overtime, we get it done. I would hate for us to wait until 2019 before we have a resolution to this. Mm-hmm. So if we can, and I'm not sure if it is an agenda item or not, but it's certainly something we need to do sooner rather than later.
Further discussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I've got an item that's very similar. And I'm not sure if it's an agenda item, and I think I have a question in this, and I've been kind of going through this, so bear with me for just a minute. We all got a letter from a resident regarding a council action that's going to take place next week. And one of the comments or the concerns that the resident made, and I'm going to read it, was this: at the June 14th meeting when our city planner, and he names that individual, was speaking, I thought he was the builder. To my surprise, after he spoke using a 2-screen PowerPoint, the developer got up to speak again. Oh, then residents had only 3 minutes to speak without any slides. Mm-hmm. And this played out again on August 9th. And the thing that disturbed me about that, and we've experienced it up here, is we bring an applicant forward and we give them all kinds of time to talk, but whenever a resident wants to come forward, we're like, hey, you're cut off after 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I'm struggling that, is there a balance there that we're all supposed to be working for the resident, so we shouldn't be shorting the resident. We're not here on behalf of no offense, is Pete still here? No offense, Pete or Newland or whatever, but we're not working on the behalf of the developers. We're here to work on behalf of the citizens, so we need to try to find some form of middle ground there that we can allow the residents to ask questions at these public hearings that get it through, that they're not cut off at the 3 minutes. Or we say to a developer, staff is going to present the pros and cons of your development. You have 3 minutes. And treat them like we treat a resident. I mean, we got to find something. And we've done it a couple of times. We've done it up here, mm-hmm. where we've had to bring a resident back up because a council member said, Walt, did you have anything else that you wanted to add? And then he gets to go on for another 3 minutes. I mean, we've been weaving our way through this, and so I'm wondering if there's not a better way to do that. So I'm not sure if it's a future agenda item or what it is, but I've felt that we've always shortchanged them, but I kind of left that alone. But when this resident wrote this down and the way that he wrote it, for whatever reason, it spoke to me that in a different way. So I'm not sure what this is.
I've got the lawyer looking at me, so I'm going to turn
Madam Mayor,
it over.
members of council, it's certainly not an inquiry of staff. So I think to the extent that you have other council members who want to discuss that, the opportunity is now to seek their consent to place it on a future work session item. But you can't really discuss it tonight.
No, I don't want to discuss it. Part of it is an inquiry of staff. Do we have, I guess my question is, do we have a responsibility, or do we have the ability to limit a developer or an applicant's presentation to 3 minutes? That's a question. And then the other thing is, as a council, I guess, future agenda item, do we want to look at how that process works? Is that?
Yeah, in the process, because I can go specifically to what happened when a presenter came up, and when I said, does anybody wants us to speak, he ran up, and he should have waited until after, and even all of you thought I was wrong when I cut him off. Everyone, oh, you're going to cut them out, and I cut him off. And so there are times these things happen. So if you want to have a discussion on it, because I can't talk about it anymore, I could give you some reasons, good and bad. Okay, so.
So I think the answer is
yeah.
that is really a council
Sounds like a work
policy
session.
discussion.
Yeah,
So.
okay. I didn't know, so I'm trying to figure that out.
I will be happy to be a number 2. I think if it's important enough, and since we can't discuss it here, that I'm always for discussing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'll be number 3.
Sounds like we need to
Sounds
put
like
that
it's
in
a-
work session.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Georgia, I do have agenda item.
Oh, I do too.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So at our last council retreat, there were multiple things that we discussed. One of the things that I had asked about, besides you all getting a raise, but that was the other thing that I had asked, though, and that I continue to think about. As I recall, I mean, I've been on this council 10 years, and so it was before I was on council, I'm pretty sure, that there had been a citizens committee that looked at our tax structure.
I was on council.
But I was not. And so that's why I say it's been over 10 years. We've had a lot of changes that have happened in our city. We've had a lot of change in focus, and I think a lot of good things have happened of how we spend our money. But I think that after 10 years, it's time for our citizens to agree or disagree of what we have, and just to get their input. I think that should always be, it may be no surprise, and we're all happy with what's happening, or it's not. And we need to give them that opportunity. At the same time, the other thing that I don't know when the last time occurred, and that is our bond capacity, our bond authority. And so I know that there's also been a bond committee in the past. You think you're on that? And I don't know when the last time they looked at our bond authority. And so maybe that's something that it's just time for people to see. And I bring it up again because November will be our retreat again, and I've never heard anything of you guys of, do we want to have that opportunity to have just verify what we're doing, or realizing that, you know what, we have all this expense with public safety, and they recognize what's going on. And so that's why I bring it up now. Sherry, you and I spoke about it.
Yeah, I will be, like I said, I think if something's important enough for someone to bring it up here, I am more than happy to speak about it. If it's the committee, I sat on some tax committee, and that was 16 years ago. I don't remember which one it was.
I was on the raise for council meeting.
No, that wasn't the one I sat on.
It had to do with
It was either
money.
bond or taxes. I don't, it was 16 years ago, whatever I sat on.
2006 for that, for looking at our tax structure, and 2004 for the bonds.
Would have been 2004 then, because I was pregnant. Okay.
Well, so it's just been a long time.
I'll be number 2.
And I think that if there's a point in our future that we say, you know, we've thrown around different things about how are we going to pay for this, how are we going to pay for that. People may be fine with what things are, but I think it's just the opportunity to ask.
Okay, so we have to have 3. The third one want to go along with the suggestion?
This was for the agenda.
But this is to bring it to the agenda and talk about it.
Right, to talk about it.
Not to
That's
say you
all.
want a committee, just to say we'll talk about it.
And Mayor, just for clarification, there were 2 items brought up. So is it a committee for for council to discuss that for both bond authority as well as the tax rates?
Were they separate? They were separate?
They were separate back in the day, yes.
Well, but it can't just be the same discussion. It's just a work session. So it's not voting on anything, really. But if nobody else wants to talk about it, then.
Anybody else? No?
know we've had this discussion before. The concern I have from a committee standpoint is it gets very diluted when you start looking at if we have X amount of dollars to make services, how are you going to go in and break that out? Now, if you want to cut here, you might have to raise there, to get all this to happen. I'm not sure an outside committee is the way you do it. That's what we're tasked with as elected officials. Now, if we want to discuss it, I think probably the best place is to discuss it at our advance or retreat or whatever you want to call it, to look at future tax policy as we go forward. I don't think it's good to, maybe for bond, because you have to get bond authority to move forward, for a outside committee to do that. But we're kind of taxed with that as far as how we pay for these things from a tax standpoint.
Well, I guess, and I appreciate that, and without getting too much into it, I guess that's why I thought in our previous retreats was the point of, well, I don't know if people want lower restaurant tax, lower this, lower that. It was, what do they want? And so that's why I brought it up this way. I do think that we can discuss it at the retreat. The bond authority goes with planning. And so I thought that there were a couple of areas that we were getting very low on. And so that's why I brought it up. So it could be just informational too.
And Mayor and Councilmember Osborne, what we can do is provide you with the latest on what our remaining bond authorities are. So that might be a good start if that pleases.
Because it may not be necessary then.
Right.
Okay.
So let's do it that way.
All right.
All right, did you get this? All right, are you clear on what we've been talking about up here?
Oh,
Councilman Campbell.
No, I don't have any problem. To me, that's something we should be discussing at a retreat regularly. Tax policy.
And we have been.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to add my 2 cents to the storm, because I received an email from a Palm Valley 1 resident who told me that they had a problem in her area. And I wrote her, she wrote me at like 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night, and I saw it at 5 or 6 the next morning. And I think I was in New Orleans or Dallas. I don't know where I was. So I wrote her and told her how sorry I was to hear about it. And she was saying that she felt that the city needed to help the neighborhood, that the city needed to be aware that they need this help and they needed it now. So I wrote her back and said that our city absolutely takes care of their neighborhoods, and that I would forward her concern and someone would get back to her. And Chief Geyer answered her, bless his heart, and said, I live in the Palm Valley 1 area, and I drove it at 5 in the morning, and I saw the damage, and she was so grateful to hear from the city. And she said that just the voice of reason and the voice that someone heard them was worth everything. And that's why sometimes when we get these letters and these emails, we love for staff to respond for us, but it's also nice to let the resident know we hear them. We don't necessarily have an answer to their problem or to their concern, but we'll listen to them and do what we can to help them. And that's why I sent the city manager also the email, so that it was probably the same time you were writing yours, Council Member Laurentano, saying we need an extra pickup, because I was very concerned about that we have these monsoons. We don't have them often, but we need to address it, because we never know when it's going to happen. We can have something catastrophic happen to our city, and we have disaster plans and everything, but I don't know that we've got bulk pickup. If we lost 150 trees, and, who knows? So anyway, but I wanted to thank the chief for responding back to her, and it was very comforting to her.
And Mayor and Vice Mayor, if I may, and thank you very much for that input. One thing I would be remiss if I didn't say, the highest priority when there's storm damage is our rights of way. Sure. You'll see our crews out there. We'll rent tractors, whatever it takes to get the roads cleared. So want to make sure that the public is aware that our first priority is obviously to get the rights of way, the roadways cleaned up. But the other is the aftermath of it that piles up on the curb lines and things like that, and that's your point.
And Mr. City Manager, I also mentioned that I know we have certain roads that flood all the time. I hope that streets, engineering, whoever is going to look at that, if we can't long-range plan how to alleviate some of this flooding, because these certain streets close down, and it's a mess when they do.
You did read that email sent out?
Oh, I read all of them.
Okay, because a lot of those roads were county, in the.
Oh, yeah, they're county roads. They're
Okay,
true, and our public doesn't necessarily understand that they're county roads either. So I think we need to do a good job with communicating to the residents who's responsible for those roadways. So I'm done. Thank you, Mayor.
I do not want to leave this council meeting with the staff thinking we don't respond to the citizen, because we do. Maybe we don't answer all the questions, but we do respond to them. The danger of us responding sometimes is we're not working in the departments. So if you tell them something is not so, or you make a promise, or you say, oh yeah, I don't know why our city does that either, I agree with you. That's not helping our city. That's not helping the staff. So if you're going to do that, and I can't tell you not to do it, but the reason I go through staff is because the information comes out, it's the correct information. And I don't have to then go around the corner and try to say, well, I'm sorry that council person said that, but that council person was wrong, whatever. So I just going to give you all a warning on that from the mayor. That's my feeling. So, all right, let's get on with this because we got another meeting. So the next meeting will be a work session and a regular meeting on August 28th, 2017 at 5 o'clock. I'm going to adjourn this one, and I'm going to call to order the special meeting. This meeting is adjourned. I'd like to call to order the Monday, August 20th.